And our guest today, it is the first Monday of the month, so that means Tony Simmons in with us. And Tony's always in here, always good to talk to him, hear his remember whens and a lot of his folklore. I call him a local philosopher, but I guess that's a good name for it, but philosopher, historian, whatever you want to call it. But good morning, Tony.
Good morning, Ricky. So glad to be here with you.
Everything going well?
Yeah, it sure is. It sure is, yes.
I know we were talking during the break that you talking about you and Sandra were in South Georgia yesterday for a funeral of one of Sandra's longtime friends. So you got to see a part of Georgia. Did you see a few pecan trees? A few pecan trees.
Pecan trees right up to the church there where we went to.
I know. I was Delaney had a show choir competition in Tifton. It was March of last year, and we had to leave there and go to Orange Beach to take her to a culinary competition.
Wow.
And just going through South in the rural part of South Georgia. We weren't on an interstate. I mean, they're pecan farms, I guess you could say, and then pecan trees just as far as you could grow them or see them. So
big irrigation machinery out there in every field,
and a lot of peanuts, probably peanut farms too.
I did see peanuts yesterday where we went. They're probably getting ready to plant.
They're down there, but pecan trees you can see.
Yeah, that's right. But we went to the funeral of Sarah Eubanks Fussell that finished school with my Sandra in 1965. They were friends from the 7th grade through the 12th grade and remained friends up to the end. And we went down to visit her and her husband Joe about 2 weeks ago, and she passed away, and we went and attended her service yesterday. Yeah, sure did.
But everything else going well. I know y'all probably had a good Palm Sunday service yesterday at North Broad Street.
I'm sure they did. We weren't here.
Oh, that's right. You weren't there. You weren't there.
We'll be having our Easter service like all other churches this coming Sunday. And Daniel Rogers, who you met, our minister, will be finishing up a series on Do You Know My Jesus? And he's going to be speaking on the topic of the Lamb of God at 10:30 this coming Sunday. And I'd like to invite anyone that don't have a regular church to attend to come and be my guest, come and sit with me and my family at 10:30 this coming Sunday, North Broad Street Church of Christ in Albertville. I've been there 45 years now, 46 years, remember 45 years, North Broad Street Church of Christ.
Well, and of course, you mentioned Daniel. A lot of the information, public service stuff, church information you send us, leading a devotion, I guess you could say, every Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock, Golden Agers.
The Golden Agers, that's right. Yes, sir, we do.
We have Hebrews now.
That's right, we studied Hebrews. You know, the Bible tells us that a man's supposed to fix the coffee in the morning. Did you know that?
Well, I do at my house, because but that's only because my wife doesn't drink any.
You find that in Hebrews.
I gotcha.
Yeah. But anyway, we invite anyone to come this coming Sunday and be a part of us. And Ricky, the Marshall County Republican Club, which I'm a member of, we're going to be meeting tomorrow night at 6:30 at Winsel's Restaurant in Guntersville. Appropriate Judge Andrea LeCroy will be explaining the current upcoming election cycle, and I think she was here Friday.
She was here Friday. Actually, her and Shirley Pankey were both here. Shirley's kind of her right hand during elections, or right hand all the time, but she's a business manager or a bookkeeper there in the probate office. But Shirley's one, I guess, is kind of helps head up the elections, get election workers. But yeah, they were both here. We talked a lot about that on Friday. That comes up. It's kind of getting close. I mean, March of next year will be the primary.
First Tuesday in March is the presidential race, and so Republicans and Democrats will be qualifying about November, and then the qualifying ends in December.
Yeah, it's a short period.
Then just be January and February, about 2 months of campaigning section.
Now, I know locally here, Sheriff was on the agenda on the election last year. Superintendent Cindy Wiggly was, but I know under Lee Croy, probate judge will be up in next year. So she will have to run again. What about any Board of Education spots?
Well, my race, District 3, and District 2, Brian Neuer, our president of our board, his race up, and he's planning on running also.
What about you?
I'm planning on running.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask.
I'm planning on running right now. Yes, sir, I am.
But you've been on the board how many years?
10 years.
10 years?
10 years, and I'll complete my term in October 2024 at the end of, the election cycle there. And then whoever wins will be taking over November, the November meeting. And it's a 6-year term, and I'm looking forward to it.
So it's a 6-year term. Okay.
6-year term.
That's what I was wondering if it was this is your I was wondering if it was your third 4-year term.
And we got two commissioners also in the same districts. District 3, which I represent on the school board, that's Lee Simmons, the commissioner, District 3, representing Douglas area, and Ricky Watson over at Grant represents District 2. Everything north of the Tennessee River Bridge and everything.
Okay. Yeah. Are all Board of Education positions 6-year terms?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
That's right.
Because I knew we just elected 1 or 2.
But the superintendent's just 4 years.
Superintendent's 4.
The board's 6 years.
Okay. All right. But I know some of the other announcements you've got, like you mentioned, that is Republican Party Club meeting tomorrow at 6:30 at Wenzel's. Then you've got AARP.
That's the Alabama Association of Retired Persons. They'll be meeting this coming Thursday at 10 o'clock at Hammers Hall of Local Joe's Restaurant in downtown Albertville. And I don't know who the speaker's going to be, but anyone can eat for $10.
Yeah.
Pay $10 when you get there and get to go in. They have a good meal after the program.
And then you got your Marshall County Retired Educators Association. You got a lot of meetings this week.
Yeah, that's right. I belong to it also. I won't be able to meet it. I've got to work at Withers, but it's going to be coming up at 10 o'clock also at Local Joe's Hammers Hall. And all retired educators, don't matter if they're school bus drivers, lunchroom workers, custodian, teachers, administrators, they're invited to come.
And that's not really all. That's not really Marshall County school system. That's any retired school
teacher. Anybody that lives, they may be taught in another school system. But they can come way off, and they live in Marshall County now, and they can come be a part of our retired education.
Yeah, you usually have a decent crowd.
And all the city systems here in Marshall County and the county system, and any other system that people lives here in this area would like to come, they can come and attend.
You usually have a pretty good turnout.
We do. We have a good turnout. Yeah,
that's good.
Good programs, that for help keep us informed what's going on for retirees in the state.
And then you got one more about the Douglas Senior Center.
Oh yeah, well I'm a member of the Douglas Senior Citizen Center, and we looking for new members. Anybody that's 60 years old or older can come, and they have devotion every day. They play cards, they play bingo.
Well, I want to know, does it get a little rowdy there? Because we do a live remote every other month or so at the Boaz Senior Center. We're actually going to be down there Thursday because they're doing some Easter activities. But they've got bingo and they got dominoes and bingos. And sometimes those bingo and dominoes games can get a little rowdy, especially with Beat Your Hide leading.
Yeah, this group usually plays Face 10 and Skip-O and Rook. And they have a good time. They got an exercise room. They got computers. Anybody can come and be on the computer. And it's a nice facility there.
Well, I know if it's like the one in Boaz, the people just like getting away from home and being around people and socializing and fellowshipping and just playing games.
And there's a good hot meal provided for them, good desserts. And if they don't have to pay for it, if they want to give $1.25 donation, they can. So if it's anybody that's 60 years or older, we sure would like to have them come and be a part of us.
Okay. And one other thing I want to mention right quick is your annual Town of Douglas yard sale and coming up. I mean, it's still 3 months away.
2 months.
2 months, right. 2 months away. Now. But it'll be here soon.
It'll be here. We're going to have it Friday and Saturday, June the 2nd and 3rd. In rain-out days, in case of rain-out days, both days, it'll be on June the 9th and 10th. If there's a rained-out day just one day, it'll be one of those 2 days. And so it's going to be residents, businesses, church groups, Douglas schools groups will be participating. It gets a little bigger every year.
Yeah.
This is the 10th year for the town-wide. Rose Ashball, my neighbor and I, started about 5 years before that, having one on our street.
Mm-hmm.
And the mayor drove by and saw how many people we were attracting and all the people that were in our neighborhood that were participating in. He said, Tony, you and Rose started coordinating this for the whole town of Douglas. And I said, okay, we will.
Yeah.
And so it gets a little bit bigger every year.
One other thing I want to ask you about before you get into your member wins, any word on a yard sale, or not yard sale, blood drive? I know Marshall DeKalb was supposed to have one last week, but they canceled it and said they would reschedule it. But I know y'all have one or two a year,
One to two a year. We don't have any one schedule right now. I'm trying to get one schedule with the lifestyle representative, so I'll let you know when we do.
But, and as we told last week when we mentioned that Marshall DeKalb canceled theirs, and I believe it even said in their announcement, find one. Call Lifestyle. Find out where there's a blood drive. You can go anywhere, or I think you can go
to their
the
office.
South building.
Right there, close to Lifestyle Coast on 431 south of the Rose Road intersection, and give blood right there.
Yeah.
You can.
So don't wait on a blood drive. If your time is 52 days?
62 days.
62 days. Every 62 days you can give if you're eligible to. If there's not one and you are one of those that want to give, just go to the office up there in Albertville.
Yeah, one other thing I want to mention is on days that is pretty enough, construction of the foundation for our new workforce skills training center at Sneak College. Mm-hmm. We've had so much rain since we had that groundbreaking on January 19th. It seemed like they get out there when it gets dry enough, they get started, and then it rains again.
Yeah.
And same way this looked like this week, we're going to have lots of rain. And Ricky, you're going to be having on announcing that we got some more severe weather predicted for later on in this week. So.
Yeah, and it is. We try to keep everybody abreast of it, and tell them, how to get your local weather warnings, weather radio, your phone. Don't rely on the sirens, and just be prepared.
This damage out here at Sardis.
Oh, I know. Yeah, and that was I was actually watching that. Let's see, that would have been overnight Friday night into Saturday morning.
Yeah.
I was up because our weather radio had went off where North Marshall County was under a tornado warning for a little bit. I don't think nothing came of it, but I was actually still watching the television station in Huntsville, and they were talking about looking like some rotation in northern Blount County to be prepared in Boaz, but they went away. I mean, if they said, well, it looks like that's not going to develop, they actually went to regular programming, which it was at 5 a.m., so they went to the regular news, but they were talking news. Next thing I know, later on, I see where it did touch down just right around 431 behind Etowah Memorial Chapel.
That's right.
In that area, and done a lot of damage to several places.
Lots of residents and lots of trees down.
Mm-hmm.
And I was watching this morning, Hazel Green, Green, they had lots of damage.
They did. There. I know the one there in Hazel Green, they classified it as EF3. I know the one in Sardis was an EF0.
Oh,
just a small spin up. When I saw that, let's see, I think I saw where it had maybe winds. Well, it's not up here now. But anyway, I think it had winds like up to 85 miles an hour. A path that was about a little over 3 miles. So, but it still, like I said, it done some damage. And, they talk about these small spin-ups and stuff like that maybe not do a lot of damage, but until it's in your area and it happens to you.
Oh, I know.
It is tough.
It woke me up at 4:30. The hail was hitting our metal roof.
Okay.
And then the thunder and the lightning and the wind. I got up and rain. So I got up and stayed up. Sandra stayed up the rest of the morning. I went back to bed.
Well, I actually pretty much did kind of stay up too. I dozed back off for a few minutes, but that's two straight overnight Friday night since Saturday morning that I've been up watching weather coverage.
Yeah.
Just trying to see.
Well, I always dread April because it's tornado type weather for us here. And April 7th, whenever the big tornado hit over in Huntsville, over on Airport Road, and destroyed everything down through there.